Republicans probably hold the Senate and pick up seats in the House. The election carries on into Wednesday and apparently far beyond, and we analyze what everyone, yes, every single human, got wrong. We'll get to all the chaos, and this is the most chaotic day in American political history, or at least that I can remember. Okay, this is more chaotic than 2000. It is a bleep show. It is a bleep show out there. There are a bevy of states that are too close to call. We are the morning after the election. There's still a bevy of states that are too close to call. Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all too close to call. Georgia might be in that list. We still don't know who the president is going to be. We don't know whether this is going to come down to voting irregularities and what the voter rules actually are in states like Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin. It is an absolute utter mess. Only one thing is perfectly clear. Everybody in the polling industry needs to learn to code. They need to learn to code. Except for Robert Cahaley over at Trafalgar, every single other human in the polling industry needs to immediately be put to work digging ditches so they can meet an actual human outside of New York and LA. I'm just going to tell you right up front, I am exhausted. I'm exhausted. We were up super late last night, 12 hours of broadcasting time last night, and this thing is far from done. It is not over. Okay, this is not over by any stretch of the imagination. So here is the latest. The Trump team, Bill Stepien, Trump's campaign manager, he says that Wisconsin is a tight race and recount territory. It is indeed extremely close. Right now, the vote count in Wisconsin, say it's about 97% in, and Joe Biden has a 0.6% lead in Wisconsin. He's up by about 20,000 votes in Wisconsin, and there are apparently still another 100,000 votes still left to be counted in Wisconsin as of this morning. So that is where things stand right now. Okay, then you move on over to Pennsylvania. Trump right now, Pennsylvania is taking its sweet damn time. For all the talk about Florida, by the way, being, Florida man and crazy state, Florida worked beautifully. Florida reported its vote totals, and we were done by early in the evening with Florida. We'll get to Florida in a second because it shows some real pathways forward for the Republican Party in the future and some real shortcomings for the Democratic Party that are quite delicious in a variety of ways. Pennsylvania, Trump right now is up about 10 points in Pennsylvania, which is about 534,000 votes. There's still 1.6 million votes out there to be totaled. Those are supposed to break heavily Democrat, so it's going to be extremely close in Pennsylvania. North Carolina, Trump is likely to win. Michigan is really, really close, like separated by 12,000 votes at this point. Biden up 0.2 points, 0.2. There's still about 500,000 votes to be counted in Michigan. Trump looks like he is going to finish off Georgia, so there's a lot of doubt last night as to whether Trump was actually going to win Georgia. It started off as likely Trump, then it moved to lean Trump, then it moved to toss-up, and now it's back to likely Trump at this point. Arizona is a state that is absolutely chaotic. Arizona was called very early on in the night by Fox News. They insisted that they were right, and now there's new information suggesting that maybe there are a bunch of votes outstanding in Arizona. So this is just an absolute mess. It's an absolute mess. The Trump campaign, Nevada is extremely tight. In fact, Nevada is only about 8,000 to 10,000 votes apart. And Nevada just decided they're not going to announce any new vote totals until tomorrow, which is this is all unconscionable. And guys, fix your election systems. Seriously. It doesn't mean that fraud is happening, but fix your damn election systems. So Stepien says, Michigan, they're confident in a pathway that includes the state. Nevada, they're claiming victory possible by 5,500 votes. And they're projecting optimism about Georgia and Pennsylvania as well. So recounts don't, as far as Wisconsin, recounts don't normally reverse 20,000 vote gaps. They don't. Usually it'll shift a couple hundred votes either way. In Florida, for example, George W. Bush and Al Gore, we had months of recounting, and it only shifted a couple hundred votes in Al Gore's direction. So shifting tens of thousands of votes on the basis of a recount is fairly unlikely. Trump campaign advisors believe that Arizona might still be in reach for President Trump on the regular count because they're still counting Election Day voters. So Trump could theoretically win Nevada and Arizona, and that would put him over the top. If Trump takes Nevada and does not win Arizona but wins Pennsylvania, then he could still be over the top. So this thing is not over yet, and this is putting aside the possibility of lawsuits. This is putting aside the possibility of irregularities being found. Right? So in other words, everything is a mess. Everything is an absolute mess. There are only a few things that are absolutely clear at this point in time. One is that the polls are damned garbage. So I've been bringing you the polls consistently. Okay, I've been bringing you the polls because I don't like operating in the absence of data. My bias in favor of data turns out to be a bias in favor of crap because the data here was crap. Okay, the data here was garbaggio. And it was really garbaggio on the national level. The final Real Clear Politics polling average spread on this election had Joe Biden up 7 points nationally. 7 points nationally. Right now, in the national vote count total, Joe Biden is up by less than 2 points nationally. Less than 2. He's at just over 50, and Trump is at just over 48%. Okay, that is not 7 points. It is certainly not 10 points. I mean, I'm just going to read you some of the polls that were being trotted out the day before the election. The Economist YouGov had Biden up 10 points, 10. IBD-TIPP had Biden up 4, and that was the most optimistic poll for Trump. Reuters had Biden up 7. CNBC had Biden up 10. Quinnipiac had Biden up 11. NBC News Wall Street Journal had Biden up 10. Okay, the gap is 2. 2. When you blow it that badly on the national polling, no one should ever trust you again. All these jackasses need to learn to code, like right now.